Hit play and feel the beat. Your favorite show where fans and stories meet. Ooh, 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 ooh.
Hello Slav.
Hello.
Non,
Bonjour,
non,
ça va?
I will say it again. Hello Slavandic. Bonjour, ça va, tu vas bien?
Ah, très bien.
Super. So, hi, hashtaggers, and welcome to the very first episode of Hashtag Eurovision's brand new podcast. This is the Yellow Room, and we couldn't have a better way to kick things off than today's amazing guest, who's Laura. Hey, Laura.
Hello.
Welcome, and thank you so much for accepting our invitation. Sorry to be here
Oh no,
today.
thank you. Thank you for having me. I know it was last minute, but I'm here now.
Last minute, but you're here, and this is
Thank
perfect.
fuck.
We're happy to have you. So, can you introduce yourself? Would love to know more about you. What is your project? I know you're doing an amazing job in the Eurovision community. I've been watching your videos. I know
Oh
you're a
god.
performer. Yeah, I've been watching you, and it was very interesting. So you're
Oh
a
my god.
performer. You dance.
I used to, yeah, I used to. I
Okay.
had an accident just before COVID, so I had to learn to walk again, and then I couldn't dance anymore because of stage fright. And then yeah, that's where the Eurovision stuff kicked in. It sort of filled that gap of
Mhm.
not knowing what to do, obviously because I couldn't walk, and I was trying to recover. And even now, every now and then, I'm a bit, but yeah, once that started, and 5 years, nearly 6 years down the line, I might be small, but somehow my face is out there. I don't know how.
Well, I suppose that you're still connected to the dance music. I mean, to the dance groups, or maybe you're choreographing, or maybe you're still dancing a little bit
I don't.
on the
I
side.
still go to some classes to keep it up, but it all
Okay.
depends on this leg. If I'm
Yeah.
not injured the next day and I'm not limping, then okay. If not, then I will sort of help people out. So that's why you see in my videos when I talk about staging, I
Yeah.
can see from where the choreography is coming from and how it's played out, and then you see from my
Mhm.
perspective in the video. I just talk shit, but it works
And
about
it totally
performing.
works, and it's very interesting when we like when you talk shit. Actually.
But listen, I mean, I'm not always hungover or drunk, okay? I know I look like it in most videos, but
Oh,
I'm
you know,
99% of the time
it's okay
sober.
to be hungover sometimes.
Girl!
Just kidding, just kidding.
There's me with
No,
my
just
bottle of
kidding.
water
It's
trying
a
to be
joke.
healthy.
Yeah, water, better.
um, but yeah, I mean, sometimes I'm hungover, I just talk shit. Then I'm drunk, like I did with Poland a couple years ago. Then Spain came along in 2023 with Blanca Paloma, and I said the infamous phrase "paella and pussy." I went viral everywhere.
It's so
Literally,
nice.
I cannot tell you. Even now, 2 years down the line, I still get people come up to me and they're like, "Oh my god, oh my!" I'm like, "Is this real? Is this actually real?" It actually got to a point where my phrase is in the Spanish like phrase book. It's
Oh,
literally in there.
wow.
The younger generation say it, and I've
So you're
heard younger Spanish Eurovision fans say it,
so
and I'm like,
you're famous in Spain.
well,
I mean, all Europe
I'm
actually.
guessing infamous, like a Z-lister, like bar is low.
Well, actually, you did a great job. You went viral. There are so many people who want to be viral.
I
So,
don't know how I do it. I done it with Poland this year, Lithuania last year, Slovenia and Spain in 2023. I've had I was on a Spanish TV show during
wow.
semi-final one in Liverpool. I had interviews left, right, and centre. Even in Finland this year, I've made a very good friend that lives in Helsinki. She's a journalist for a very big outlet out there, and I'm like, what is going on? I just a small channel, and I'm just there. I'm
And
just
you are
there.
there, and you are doing great.
It's just divine timing, I'm guessing.
So, can you introduce your project to our baby hashtaggers? How did your passion for Eurovision begin? How did you start creating content around it? Tell us more about
So
this.
I have been a Eurovision fan, I mean, from my mind, from what I can remember, from when I was a kid. but I didn't really start watching it until 2001 when Estonia won. And
Okay.
then that was it. But obviously, when you're a kid, you have to go to bed at a certain time. I was the child that stayed up till stupid o'clock watching the results. So, and then obviously, as you grew older and things like that, and then COVID hit in 2021, and I was like, I'm working from home because I would used to work in the Czech Republic, got made redundant from that. Then I
Mhm.
was working from home at another job, and I was like, I have nothing to do at home. And I was
Mhm.
like, what the fuck can I do? So I saw that Lithuania, the Roop, actually, their first attempt came out. Well, was it this one? Is it Discotheque? Or is the other one?
Yeah, the Roop. It's the
Yeah,
Roop.
yeah, yeah, they came out. And then I was like, you
Yeah.
know what? Let me just record. Hope for the best. I had my dog with me at the time, and I'm like this nervous because I haven't been on camera in a long, long time. And within like 24 hours, I had 10k views, and I was
Wow.
like, oh, so this is where we're gonna go. And then I just gradually got more and more and more, and it fed me in a lot more. And then it got to 2023 and I was like, I need to change it up a little bit. So I started with national finals
Okay.
and doing near enough every other song that came out, getting a lot more my name out there, networking and stuff. And then this year I just delved into other things, like I do Slav sessions where you'll take one song from a national final
Mhm.
or a revamp and we'll just take a look at it away from the heaviness of the contest. Or I've started my own podcast, documentary, I don't know what the fuck it is,
Mhm.
called
I
Aerobobka.
mix up everything, and that works.
Literally, and it's like Aerobobka. It has its own Instagram. It's got its own sort of networking thing going on my YouTube where we take a look at countries that have left, countries that may come back. I'm
Mhm.
trying to get guests on to talk about the golden era. You know, I've delved into the Sami Grand Prix on there with Benno from Eurovision Hub.
Mhm.
And that's just where I'm at really. So over the summer I've started doing little episodes and the odd reaction here and there, and then it sort of would lead into 2026. So I'm hoping it pays off. Because if it doesn't, I'm going bald.
Don't do that. It's going to pay
I'm
off.
hoping. I can't even why, please.
No, we'll keep your hands, handcuffs. You're not doing that. So let's have a little moment. I'm gonna ask you questions, and you will have to choose between the two choices if you
Oh
want.
god. Oh god. Okay.
So do you prefer in Eurovision? Do you prefer music in English or in native language?
God. Native. And I think that's
Hmm.
why I love Eurovision so much, because you learn so much about the languages and culture.
Yeah,
Because if
sure.
Justina Steczkowska didn't do Gaia in Polish, I never would have known the Polish culture, a lot more about Polish language. Even though I work with a lot of Polish people and I know how to swear a lot in Polish, and even in Lithuanian, I would never have known what the industry can be like in Lithuanian when they if they had
Mhm.
sang in English. So it makes sense, really.
Totally. I totally agree with you because if all the music were in English, for example, I've been watching that America's Eurovision. No, I mean
Oh
America.
yeah, the American Eurovision thing.
Yeah, I wasn't that interested
I
in it.
I didn't like it personally. I
Yeah,
didn't like it. I was like, it's a pointless contest. American Eurovision, it just doesn't work.
yeah.
I listen. I love American Eurovision fans. Alicia Michelle's a beautiful woman. Jordan
I love
Davis. I
her.
was
That's
him
it.
at I was him at Eurovision this year. Where I stayed and I spent a lot of time with Jordan. I like listen. American Eurovision fans, not a problem. Just don't try it in a country where you're forcing it. You're not letting it come naturally,
Mhm.
because that American Eurovision felt very forced.
It was very different. It was not given like a Eurovision nature. It was just
No.
like a contest with a lot of dancers, a lot of people,
It
and
felt
sometimes
very much like American Idol, just from different states,
exactly.
and it just wasn't working.
So, would you prefer a ballad or a banger?
Banger. Listen,
Okay.
don't get me wrong. I love a Serbian ballad. I love a Balkan ballad, But I can't cry
Actually, I'm
over an
French. I'm
ex-boyfriend.
French. We're sending most of the time. We're sending ballads.
Listen, I'm quarter French myself. I've got French blood, but I can't handle a ballad. I can't cry over my exes anymore. They're trash. Give me a banger.
So, do you prefer something sober or extravaganza?
Oh, absolutely extravaganza. You can't have everything sober. If everything's sober, you will get bored. You need something different every now and then. Like
Yeah.
Finland, for example, they went from being
Yeah.
sober for a while. As soon as
Hmm.
Karja came along, boom, that was it.
Yeah.
Game changer.
And I think the
Although
fun.
there is a fine line, sorry to cut you off. There is a fine line between extravaganza and then far too much. So you need to
Mhm.
sort of have that balance because if you do like Karja, Windows 95, it was
Mhm.
a bit over. Whereas if you had Karja, say someone else like Sara Sippola, for example, who
Mhm.
participated in 2024 UMK, and then Erika Wigman, it would have
It
been
was
a
the
more of an
song
even
with the
balance.
onion. Feel my onion or something like that. I don't know. It was an
Yeah.
onion song.
That was oh my god, Cine Sabotage.
Yeah, I forgot the name, but it was
Cine
crazy.
Sabotage. I used to love that song. I look at it now and I'm like, it's an onion. What the fuck?
That's crazy. So, do you prefer a big show or emotion?
Oh, see, I like a mixture between the two. If you can
Hmm.
pull off something like massive with emotion, you've hit the jackpot. If you can only do emotion, you can only do emotion for a certain time and then you will get bored. So you
Yeah,
need to have that even balance between them because if you're going to do something, you need to feel with emotion and perform it, and that's where the big explosion stuff comes.
that's true. That's true. And I think that some artists are trying to do the work, and it doesn't mix well.
No, it
But
also depends on not on your team, but how you choreograph it and how you want it produced. Because if it's not produced the way you want it and how you want to express yourself,
Mhm.
then you're in trouble. Even with a revamp, if it's still not correct, you're in a bit of trouble. So you
Yeah.
have to have that even balance.
Yeah, I still remember how amazed I was by Ronela Jati Secret when I saw the national
Oh,
performance, and then when I heard the revamp, it was hard for
I
me.
was, yeah, I was really, really upset because that was one of my favourite songs that year. She went from being pure authentic to
True.
why the hell have you got trainers on in pink, babe? That's not you. We all know that's not you. You're not Jojo Siwa. We get
Yeah,
it, okay? You need to be you, and that she should have kept it the old way in
yeah,
my
totally.
eyes.
I totally agree with that. And I'm not talking about the countries, but I'm talking about the music in Eurovision. Italy or Sweden?
Oh, curva. Ah,
That's
ah,
me.
curva. Because I've started watching Sanremo this year. I'm like, oh, Italy, but I don't know if I like both because Italy can have a good ballad, whereas Sweden, even though it's generic, because Sweden gets unnecessary hate for no reason. Even though
Mhm.
they're generic, they have that formula that works. Whereas Italy,
That's true. That's true.
sometimes, not all the time, does need a bit more work to get to where Sweden is. So I would say Sweden for now, but if in Sanremo next year Italy can pull it off with something of a formula as good as Sweden, then I would change over.
Okay. And Spain or Finland?
Oh, now I'm stuck.
Am I the double curva now?
Oh God, not Spain. I'm gonna have to say Spain because they've done so much for me.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
Spain.
stand by them.
So with dancers or solo?
Depends on the song, really. If it's
Can you give me an
choreographed to be on
example of
your
a
own.
song that was? Can you give me an example of a song that would have been amazing if it was a solo music and no dancers?
Ooh, there's quite a few. There was one this year that should have had been on their own, and it was a ballad, and I can't think what it is.
I need to
Oh
find
my
it.
God. Oh
Maybe
my
I will
God, what is
find
it
it.
called? There was another one from where was it last year? Eru. Eru last year, even though she was fine on her own, I'm gonna flip it a second. Even though she was fine on her own, 2023, sorry, um, she should have had dancers because she was too. I was in the arena and she was far too far back. If she had had dancers in front of her, she would have qualified and got through. If you
Okay.
take them away from the concept that she had, even though no one knew what she was saying, I did not have a clue. I was like, okay, babe, you do you. Um,
Okay.
because she didn't have them, it let it down. So I think it really and that was sort of like a prime example because it really does prove if you do have dancers, they can benefit it, whether it's 1, 2, the full 5, because you're only allowed a maximum of 6 people on stage,
Yeah.
or if you have by yourself. It really just depends on that concept. Like Nutsa, if
Yeah.
Nutsa didn't have those dancers, she wouldn't have qualified. She can hold her own, don't get me wrong, but yeah.
I mean, she arrived, I don't know, 24th or 25th in the
She
grand
yeah,
final.
24th. I think she was low, mid early 20s.
Yeah,
But
it was in the 20s, and it's so sad. But at the same time, I know that there was the French song just before, and I think
oh,
it was the
Slimane.
Slimane. So
See, Slimane is a perfect example. Even though he was on the floor and he was always up close, yes, he had the voice, but if he had had dancers expressing what he was singing in French,
mhm.
yeah, would have
It would have.
benefited it a lot more.
And would you say, are you more public vote or jury vote?
Never. Oh God, more public. Because never, ever, ever, and I say this every year, never trust the odds. They said Belgium would get through in semi-final one. It didn't get through. Never trust the odds. Always trust the power of the casual listener. It's not like us where we watch national finals. We talk stuff daily when it's in that season. But these people most likely only watch the final or, the
True.
two semi-finals and the final.
So
They're
they just
going by
discover
first
yeah,
listen.
that's true.
Yeah, and you can see the difference between what we would love and what we would want as
Mhm.
favourites and everything compared to what the casual listener would, which eventually got their winner because everybody loved Austria this year. It's the same with Switzerland. Even though Switzerland last year was out there, it still caught their eye and they still voted for it more because they trusted the power of the casual listener more than they would a jury. The jury's only there to see what we see. They're not someone that sits at home and goes, let me just put that on for 10 minutes. And then they
Mhm.
get to the voting and they're like, yeah, I like that song. Let me vote for that. They probably heard 20 seconds. So you always trust the power of the casual listener, never trust the odds.
Yeah, but don't you think, for example, it was very sad? I think I will come back. I'll come back to that later. But for example, since Switzerland with 0 points, I mean, it's a shame. It's a shame.
Oh, a huge shame. So it was a lovely song. It's very Christmas like advertisement. It's just a
Yeah,
song you would play.
Christmas
By the
advertisement
Christmas
in an
tree, missing your
elevator of
loved
a
one.
hotel. So, two last questions. No, three. Watching Eurovision with friends or alone?
I've always sort of watched it alone, but twice I watched it with ex-boyfriends and it was hell. This year I watched, and the past couple of years I watched it with friends and it was a lot nicer. So I think I'd rather watch it with friends and have a general discussion than being on my own and not being like.
Yeah. So, Eleni or Chanel?
Oh, Malaka! Oh God. Eleni.
Okay.
Eleni, because I love Eleni and yeah, fire.
Fuego. And the very last one, special gift for you. Celine Dion or Lorraine?
Oh, Lorraine.
Okay.
Oh, Lorraine. Don't be silly. That's my
Celine Dion.
mum.
Celine Dion is a monument.
Yeah, but Lorraine's my mum. Everybody knows this.
Okay,
Everybody knows I
yeah,
love
I know
Lorraine.
that. But I wanted also to ask maybe, Celine Dion. It's
No,
kind of like the
I'm
more,
not a
more.
massive Celine Dion girly. Don't get me wrong. The Eurovision song, Le Bati Passe Moi, perfect. Don't get me wrong. I love it. Give me 14 of them. But Lorraine, yes. I've
Yeah,
watched
Lorraine.
Lorraine since
I
her
love
first
her.
Melfest performance in 2011. Mum. That is my
Yeah.
mum.
Actually, she's from Morocco, so she's my mom too. So
See,
you're my
exactly.
sister.
She's
So you're
your
my
mum.
sister. So
Yeah,
you're my
she's
sister.
probably your cousin from like years ago.
Definitely for sure. We are a tribe.
I love it. I
I'm just
love
okay.
it.
Sorry for all the Moroccans watching. It's just a joke. We're not going around with camels, you know.
Oh,
Uh,
girl. Oh my god.
so let's try to answer the big question: Eurovision 2025. What the hell just happened?
Oh,
What's globally your take on this season edition? This year's edition. What is your point of view globally?
um, it was a bit too close for comfort.
Mhm.
We nearly lost the contest for many, many
Mhm.
reasons. Production was amazing. Don't get me wrong. SSR done a really, was it SR or SFF? One of the national broadcaster done an amazing, amazing production, and it was very fluid. It was very up there, probably one of the best I've seen in terms of it. Just some of the stuff the presenters were saying, you have to be very careful because it was
Mhm.
very innuendo, like saying things like we're a completely apolitical content. Baby, don't say that when you're in front of millions of people. I get it's in a script, you're meant to say it. But
Mhm.
when your face says otherwise and you're saying it, it really shows. So I feel like they need to be a little bit careful when writing things like that. And I get, look, and I was in Basel. Switzerland is very neutral. I couldn't understand why it was so calm. And I'm coming from London. I was like, why is it so calm? Like, I'm expecting stress. And I get that. But when it's things like that, it's treading on a very thin line. And Sweden last year was a little bit more relaxed in terms of what they were saying because they had the humor and they had the jokes. But when you've got things scripted that are like, even though you're neutral, you're throwing little jabs. It's like Switzerland is completely neutral. Switzerland is like the contest is apolitical. Don't do that. Don't do that. You're going to cause a stir. And I know that's probably what they wanted to get out of it
Mhm.
because they live for the drama. Not I'm not saying that EBU lives for the drama, but in a entertainment concept, stirring up that drama gets more views and it gets more poise out of it. But you just need to be very careful. Like
Mhm.
I remember hearing comments of saying like, why the fuck are they saying that? They shouldn't be saying that, and seeing online that people weren't very happy with things like that.
Mhm.
But you know, I was in the village for semi-final two, Eurovision village semi-final two, and for the final. It was huge. There was honestly, you could have fitted two Maltese islands in the village. It was huge, and the way it was
Sorry,
handled
Malta.
was so literally love a bit of Malta.
Sorry,
The way it
Malta.
was, the way it
Sorry,
was
Malta.
handled was like amazing. Don't get me wrong, absolutely amazing. The way the police handled the queues and things like that. If there was a
Well,
problem, that's fine.
this is exactly my next point. Your experience in Basel, how was it? What about the organization? So we were talking about this. How was the staging for you? And what do you think about the flag polemics? You know, without going that deep, the LGBT flags were not really. I
That
mean, the
upset me. I mean, look, I'm a straight girl. We all know I have a dick on my finger for fuck's sake. I'm definitely straight. Um,
beautiful, by the
that
way.
that really that really upset me because I feel like you should be allowed to express yourself no matter who you are. Why is holding a non-binary flag such a problem for you? Why is holding a transgender flag such a problem for you? Okay, you're transgender. I still love you for you. Go and show that flag with pride and don't let anyone tear you down for it. I thought it was, to be fair, I thought it was a bit disgusting that they actually
Mhm.
stopped it. And it worries me for next year when it's in Austria. Are you going to ban all the flags completely? Because then there's a big problem. They shouldn't have
Mhm.
done that. Like, I get you allow flags into the arena, but they have to be small. They're not the big ones. And
Mhm.
okay, I get it. The big ones can be in your way if you're in the arena. I get that. But if they're around you, like I have a Slovenian flag on my shelf. In 2023, I had it around me, no problem. Don't like 2024, you're walking out with a flag non-binary like Nemo did. They walked out and it was no problem. So what I don't understand is why has it now become a problem for them to have those flags and basically slash the LGBTQIA plus community when that's the heart of the contest. That's what we love a lot. Like that's their freedom of expression. for
Mhm.
those, say, 2 hours or that week of Eurovision. They just feel like they can be themselves. And I just didn't really agree with it.
And I think that it didn't really help because during all that polemics concerning the flags, it put the eye on the others flag um, trouble, which
That's,
is
yeah.
authorizing the Palestinian
Mm,
flag and all
yeah,
that issue with Israel and Palestine. But we will go back to that
yeah.
later. So I would like to have your opinion first about what was your feeling when you listened the music first before watching them, just listening to the music when you discovered all the
So,
music.
I
How
mean,
was the
obviously, I
feeling?
do reactions when they come out. So that's the first time I hear the song. So I go by what I feel. Um, when I listen to them, I sort of go by how I feel at the moment. Like France, I cried my eyes out.
Mhm.
Like Greece, oh my God, Elada, goosebumps, crying. Sometimes I lose my mind. Sometimes I'm laughing if it's really bad. Sometimes I'm, like, what the fuck, basically, because there were a few.
Yeah,
And sometimes I feel like there were better options. Like, for example, Ireland. Sorry, Irish
yeah.
people, but in Ireland, I feel like it should have been Samantha Mumba, but
Mhm.
than Emmy, because Emmy was very not. She fitted but didn't fit, and that's what I feel like came across. And when it become to the point where she was in the semi final, it was very. This doesn't work. This does
Mhm.
not work, and you could see it. But you always, okay, not everyone, but me, you go by a blueprint. So first listen is just your foundation. You've laid that out with pen and paper. The second one, if you revamp it, where are you going to go from there? If not, you sit down with designers, you sit down choreographers, staging work,
Mhm.
dancers, so and so. If that changes over time, you see that. And normally, I think it's wrong, but if it gets leaked, and I'm not saying people leak it because artists don't generate any revenue from it, so you're not doing any justice. But if it does, and you hear that difference, that's when your opinion changes. Like, I listened to what one grew on me a lot. Oh, Baller, Germany. When I first listened to it,
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? It was
Baller.
messy as hell. But by the end of it,
It was very messy at the beginning. Uh,
yeah.
it's just like we didn't know what she was, how she was dancing. That violin,
Yeah,
that
the
guitar in the hand
cello.
was being
I
broken.
still think he should have paid for the cello out of his money. He was wrong to do that. If that was me, I'd be pissed.
True, true. So, concerning, which one was your favorite before watching the semifinals?
Oh, semi-final one, it would have to be Theo Evan. That stuck with me for so long. Semi-final two was Denmark, Poland, and Finland.
Okay.
They completely stuck with me.
And then when you watched the semifinal, what was your feeling? For you, I mean, would you imagine that Cyprus, Croatia, Slovenia, Belgium, as Azerbaijan would be disqualified in semifinal one?
Belgium and Cyprus, no. But listen, I love Slovenia. I still, listen to Joker out and go to their concerts now. I have a lot of friends in Slovenia. I don't mean this horribly.
Well,
They had better
I prefer
options.
New Religion, to be honest, but it's
Oh,
my
no, trust me. That's what I was going to say. It should have been July Jones. She would have got a better result.
Mhm. Sure.
Azerbaijan, even though I don't react to them, that was the first time I heard the song. And don't get me wrong, good chorus, good beat. They should have gone with something more authentic and in Azerbaijani, because
That's
that's
true.
what we're waiting for. You want an authentic Azerbaijani song that hooks people. Don't keep sending it in English. Express your culture. That
Hmm.
is the only way I can describe it. Slovenia, Slovenia. Should have been July Jones.
Croatia.
But
What about Croatia?
I felt so bad for Marco.
Yeah.
I felt so bad, and I feel like he sort of got an unnecessary amount of hate, and he shouldn't have got that. And I think he let it get to him a little bit, and I think
Mhm.
that's why. And I feel like if he had revamped, he would have been completely okay, and if he had a better staging, would have been absolutely
Yeah.
fine. Belgium, I was completely shocked.
That killed me. Let's be honest.
Oh
I died.
my God. As soon as I saw that he wasn't getting through, I was pissed off. I was like, they don't know talent. They don't know art. This
How did you
guy
cry?
had everything.
I will stop watching Eurovision again.
I was like, I'm not doing semi-final 2 when I go to Basel. Fuck you. And the same for Cyprus. I was literally, when I saw Cyprus,
I was so angry.
I was like that.
The staging was, the music wasn't touching me that much. I loved, actually, the music is good, but it wasn't perfect for me. When I saw what Cyprus has been sending before, when you compare it to, for example, when you have seen Eleni Fouira, when you see Tamta,
Yeah.
I prefer Tamta, and I prefer the, when you see, I preferred, what's the name, Diablo, I forgot her name.
Eleni,
Tsagrinu.
yeah, it's a settle,
I
yeah.
prefer that. Theo Evan, the music was Ush Ush was not something I loved, but when I saw the staging, I was like, oh my god, this is.
They've done something that had never been done, and obviously it was the Vitruvian Man, so it's like the Da Vinci Code.
It was very
It's
original.
insane. I think the only thing that let him down, and I did actually meet Theo Evan, and I did say to him, I feel like the only thing that let you down is that there was too much and you couldn't contain your breath with your breath control. And I felt that let him down a little bit. And it was all the climbing and
yeah, I mean,
honestly,
physically, it must be very complicated. And there is a place, a moment when singing can be kind of difficult, especially when you're sending that note. So,
100%. When he's leaning over singing Hush in a falsetto tone and he's trying to belt it, you can hear that he's fucking tired. And the fact he was on a treadmill running and singing, which is actually what you're meant to do for that type of training, because I've done it, it can get intense. And then plus with adrenaline, nerves, TV angles, dancers, moving all the scaffolding around, you're like, bitch, what the fuck? So no, I feel for him. I do hope he comes back, even if it's in like a duo or anything.
Yeah, he's very talented, and he can be sending something very interesting. I would love that he can be singing in a Greek side.
In Greek, I would love if he sang in Greek.
Yeah, if he's singing in Greek, it's gonna be amazing. What do you think about the ones who has been eliminated in semi-final to Australia, Czechia, Ireland, Serbia, Georgia, and Montenegro?
Georgia, yes, because that song was the biggest mess I'd ever heard in my life. Like, what the fuck was that? I'm sorry.
Taste. Choices.
Girl. It wasn't taste. It was tragedy. If you need a poo and you haven't got the loo, it's tragedy. It was that bad. I felt really bad for Czechia because that wasn't his fault. What happened? You could tell. Like that clearly was an in-ear problem, and I felt really bad for him. And I was like, he should have been given another chance. Australia, shock, big shock. I was really upset by that because I know that how hard he worked for it, and you could see it because I was following on Instagram and TikTok, and you could see it. So yeah, I was pretty upset for him because that was the 10 years for Australia, and if they had got through, it would have been the cherry on the cake, basically. But the rest. Nina Zizic for Montenegro, aka Morticia Adams from the Adams family, in that outfit, I feel like she should have had a better song. Should have. And the dress, girl, what the fuck was that dress? I love you, bitch, but you needed a better song. I'm glad Montenegro are coming back next year, bitch.
But at the beginning, I really thought that it would give like the proud Tamara moment from North Macedonia. I think it was North Macedonia.
Yeah.
I think
we need another song like that.
Energy. I thought that it would make a difference. Actually, no, it didn't.
No, I feel like we need another song like that. To be fair.
So let's go to the grand finale. What is your opinion about the show? What are the positive points and the negative points for you?
I feel like the positives is that the production was amazing. The way they had Karia and Baby Lasagna going head to head was absolutely insane. That was the best thing I'd seen in a long time. The way the transition through everything were very smooth. I loved the fact at the end of the performance they still had the cameras on the artist so you could see their initial reaction away from the audience. I love that. That actually shows who they really are as a performer and if they're grateful for it or they're absolutely shitting themselves. And I love the fact that, they got people involved. Like my Turkish friend Borak was the Turkish guy on the screen hosting all the parties, and I cried with happiness for him. And seeing people like that and getting other fans involved, as they should do, that was such a good step in the right direction. Whereas years before, they never really done that.
That's
They
true.
just, you know, the stage dives and the crowd surfing, they've never really had that before. So if they can keep that up with that dry, sarcastic sense of humour with presenters, you're on to a winner. It's absolutely fine because let's be real, we all love a bit of dry, sarcastic humour, especially in Eurovision, because if you
That's
don't
true.
laugh, you will
True.
cry.
Mhm.
I think the negatives are the anti-booing.
Oh
That,
yeah,
yeah, that really and truly should have been to a bar minimum, not on every song, only when it was needed. Because if it was Australia, if Australia would have qualified, you wouldn't have heard the yum yum, and it let
Mhm.
that down. And there was a few other songs like it, like Erica Vickman, when people were screaming "Ich komme," you couldn't hear it. All you heard was this,
And
and
it
you're
gives you
like,
an energy. I still remember, for example, Nebulosa did Zora last year. You had
yeah,
that moment when she gives the mic to the audience. You need to
yeah.
hear the audience
You need
singing.
to hear the crowd you're performing to, even when you're just watching it on a TV screen. Otherwise, if you have this generated booing and clapping all the time, it's losing the
Yeah,
concept.
yeah,
Really.
and
Um,
it gives non-authentic at the same time, and
yeah,
it's
it's
sad.
making the contest AI generated, and that's not what it
Yeah,
is.
that's true.
And I also think the way the results were handled needed to be a little bit better. If they have 0 points from the televote, do it straight away, regardless if it's host country or not. Like, why would you make Switzerland wait that long just for 0 points?
Mhm.
Baby, do it straight away. Give her time to get that glass of wine. She probably needed it. The poor girl probably needed it. Whereas if it's higher points, let that build the tension.
In general, if I remember well, most of the time when a country gets 0 point, I mean, UK is really used to that.
Oh, of
When
course we are. That is like the standard. We're like, oh, 0 again? Merry
0 point,
Christmas.
and it's something I don't understand because they deserve more than this. But most of the time, the countries that have 0 point are on the end of the chart. But it's for me the first time when I see a country in the top five, top three, top two, just
Yeah.
like having 0 points. Never saw that before, and
No.
it's shocking.
I feel like as well with the jury this year, it was so. And I remember being with Miko, the Armenian guy from Eurovision Hub, Jordan, and some of Eurovision Fun, the Greek guys, and they're like my family. I literally love the bones of them. And we were standing there and we were saying it was so open. You didn't know what was
This is
going to happen.
true. This is true because this
I
year you couldn't even figure out who would be a winner. Seeing,
no.
the odds saying that Sweden was going to win,
Yeah.
and I mean, this is the reality. What is real is that the odds are mistaking more and more and more. So you can,
Yeah.
as you said at the beginning, you can really trust the
You
odds
can't
now.
really trust them. Like at all. You need to trust the power of the casual listener because that's where your proper vote will come from.
Mhm.
Because it's not like us who, even for this season coming up, I know we're off season now, but with this season coming up, even though we listen to the songs when they come out, we listen to interviews, we go to pre-parties, that
Mhm.
casual listener doesn't have a fucking clue what a pre-party is. They just know the song that's on stage with TV angles for 3 minutes. That is
This is true.
literally it.
They watch it and say, "Oh, I like it." They vote, and
Literally,
that's
and
all.
that's what they will vote for, and that's what they will pick up the phone for. Whereas us, we know the basis foundation of it and how it's grown. They will
Mm.
take more into consideration someone that listens 3 minutes on first listen than us who have been through that whole process.
That's true. That's
Because
true.
that's where your majority of views and voting will come from.
Mhm.
So that's why you get so much more televotes from a casual listener than you would someone like us who's been through the whole
This is
process.
true. This is
And we
true.
know what to vote for and we know what's going to happen.
Mhm.
Whereas they don't. They just see la 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 for 3 minutes and hope for the best. So literally, so it makes
This
sense.
is true. So, concerning the results, what did you think? Which result felt the most overrated and underrated to you?
Poland was underrated. Denmark. I'm
Oh yeah,
sorry.
oh Denmark,
Live Laugh
Sisal,
too. Yeah.
Malta. Can we talk about Malta?
Malta. I really thought she was going to be top 10. Really thought.
Yeah, yeah.
And I noticed there was a pattern. Any song that, you know, was gaining popularity and recognition or was outside the box a bit didn't get much. But when it was
That's
something
true.
that was not considered plain Jane, but like a not a typical, what's the word I'm trying to say? Something you would see in the charts within their country that probably would be like top 15.
Mhm.
That sort of thing that you would see, that was what was getting higher. So that's what shocked me. So when Cecil got 2, I was really surprised. I was like, that girl should not be there. That was underrated. Eric Levy, come
Totally
on.
true. She's very talented. The music was very interesting. It's radio
Yeah.
friendly. Of course, maybe the staging wasn't the best to my mind,
No.
but at the end of the day, she's performing. She's doing great, and it deserves more than 2 points.
Yeah.
I can't remember how when a music that good got that.
That less of a point. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, exactly. I think the other one that really I was so happy that Greece done so well. Like number 6, like they finished 6th. That was the best result they've
So,
had in years, and I was so
you said who?
happy.
I didn't hear. You said Greece.
Greece,
Oh, Greece
Asteromata.
Claudia. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
absolutely loved
That's
it.
well deserved. Well deserved.
Also, big
I think
shocker, Latvia.
Latvia. Yeah.
That was a huge shock for me to be top 10. I was like, whoa. Okay, now they're meaning business. So I think next year Latvia will take that into consideration to send something more acquired to them and in
Yeah,
Latvian.
it was very cultural. It got that insane. I mean, it was reminded me Czech. It's my sister Crown. My sister Crown. It was giving me
Ah,
that vibe.
Vesna.
Vesna, yeah. But at the end of the day, I think in my mind it was a bit more messy. But actually, people loved it, and it's
Yeah,
very
no, they
interesting
did.
because yeah. No,
And I
it
think
was
also
interesting.
with Vesna, there was up to, was it 5 languages in the song? 4 or 5
Yeah.
languages. So it was different. But because they had that, it worked. And that's why it done so well. So it's such a strange formula on like depending on the country of what they use and what they do.
Sure. One more question. I'm annoying you, and I'm very sorry.
Girl, you're
You
fine.
told that
Ask
with
me
this
whatever.
question.
Honestly, don't feel like you need to hold back. You can ask me absolutely anything.
So, since we've just had confirmation today that Martin, I mean, not today, it was yesterday, I think, Martin
Yeah.
Ostadol will step down as executive supervisor. What is your point of view about this? Is it a good thing, a bad thing?
Baby, goodbye. Baby, farewell. I don't wanna lie. Cause we can stick together, my friend. This is the end. Thank God.
Keep singing.
Thank
Well,
God.
actually, kiss is goodbye.
Yeah, he's literally kissed goodbye. He should have gone. Listen, Martin, jag älskar dig. Förlåt for what I'm about to say. You should have gone a long time ago and you knew it because of how things were. You could sense the energy around it and around him. He couldn't really take the pressure. We all knew that. We could see it because your body shows it. I'm wording this correctly because the EBU will probably watch. It's your body expresses how you're feeling before your mind actually catches up. So that's why, listen, he done a good job at the time, 2023, 2024. But when those cracks started to show, like in 2023, the Melfest, I was impressed at the time. That Melfest sort of result per country, like one person. Baby, no, what the hell was you doing? No. And it was like, you've done your time. You need a break. We wish you well. Just negotiate to still be within the EBU, just a different team, not so much associated with Eurovision, so you can focus on what you love more. Don't, you know what I mean? So I think we're at this point now. Now Martin has gone. We need something fresh face, a little bit, not to be ageist, because he's a very fine man. I will admit, I'm a single girl, okay? I'm breaching 30. I feel like we need something younger and a little bit fresher
Yeah,
that sort
that's
of caught the minds of Eurovision fans, and he's a genuine Eurovision fan and not someone that focuses on the business 24/7. Because you
Mhm.
can tell between someone that focuses on the business 24/7 compared to someone that's a genuine Eurovision fan that wants to see things do well despite the shit that may be on their shoulders and what is left to pick up. If they can negotiate well and get things running smooth, I say smooth again, but in a process that makes it happy for everyone. And listen, look, not everyone will be happy. We know that. There's always going to be haters. They're always going to see
Of
someone on Twitter
course, they
hating
will.
everything.
Of course, they will.
But if it's just a breath of fresh air and that ease of everything that's going on at the moment with the pressure, then it's fine. Because I feel like towards the end of it, he just couldn't really take it. And you could start to see it when the
He
voting
tried. He tried.
in his
But
face.
as Mama Ru would say, "Fake it till you make it."
Oh, listen, you can fake it till you make it, but you got to fuck the right people.
So
Baby, trust
we'll
me.
talk about a subject that is a very very special. This is the right word, but we need to bring up the question of Israel in this
Mhm.
context. It was a real matter at Eurovision. And there were some reactions after the show. I mean, at the end of the show and after the
Yeah.
show, the artist, the audience, and even the broadcasters. Uh, what is your opinion about this? Is that normal? What happened? And
I need to word this very, very carefully. At the end of the day, the girl done her job. She was there to sing. She's a singer.
Mhm.
She's a professional singer. She done her job, and she has a voice. Okay,
She
she has
has
a
a
voice.
voice. She has a voice, of course.
She can hold
Mhm.
her own.
Mhm.
But it was very close to home. The way things, and we all know what happened with a rig turning as an innuendo. A rig was turning, and we all know it. But it was too close to home. I was in the Eurovision village, and this is the first time I've spoken on Israel in 2 years because I don't react to Israel on my channel. I
Mhm.
don't believe in what they're doing. I don't, and I don't care if I get comments for it. It's just my opinion. Everyone is valid. Um, I was in the Eurovision village. I cried my eyes out. You can see on my reaction, I cried my eyes out. I was on Austrian TV or Swiss TV after crying my eyes out, thanking the public for having Austria win. The Eurovision village was screaming, and this is no word of a lie. They were
No,
screaming for
I was
Austria.
there. I mean, I was in the stadium, and it was the same
Yeah,
thing. The stadium
screaming
was,
for Austria.
yeah,
The
screaming for
green room
Austria.
screaming for Austria. The press centre. I had friends in the press centre screaming for Austria. If that doesn't prove what we are all feeling right now compared to what we should be feeling, then people must be blind and something needs to change. Because if what we all think will happen next year,
Yeah,
we will be
exactly.
we will be hosting a funeral for this contest.
Mm-hmm.
And I say this with the utmost love and care for someone and yourself who's very passionate about this contest and cares so much for things that are involved for it. Things need to change. The propaganda, and I'm going to say it because people
Yeah,
will agree, the propaganda needs to go. I don't see,
exactly.
no, I don't
Also,
see any other
let's
country doing all of that.
I would be totally honest. I mean, if there was, for example, Noah Kirel with Unicorn
Yeah.
winning, it would be all right for me.
Yeah, fine.
You
Listen,
know,
I would not have a problem in
oh,
2023. If she
of
had
course,
won, I would have said, yes, absolutely. She's a star. She's global. She can
of
do well
course.
for
Yeah.
herself. Up there.
The
Beautiful
only
girl.
matter is all that, to my mind, it's maybe the propaganda that is around this, and I can't understand how a country can get that much amount of point for a music that, for me, was. I mean, I'm not sure that all the community considered. I mean, listeners would consider that it's a top five music, or maybe top three music.
Me, personally, if I had listened that first going off, I wouldn't have put it where it had ended. To
Mm-hmm.
me, it was more in a 10 to 15
Mm-hmm.
because it needed a revamp. I'm sorry, it needed a revamp and a lot of
Yes.
work around it. And listen, the chandelier was beautiful. I was scared it was going to break.
I mean, if we are not considering the goal of the lyrics of the music, if we're not considering that, if you look at the stage, if you look at listen to the voice, if you see how it's done, it's quite good. Let's be
Yeah.
honest. and it deserves like maybe a low top 10 or.
Yeah.
But when it's sending like we know, I think to my mind, but it's only my point of view. It's not the point of view
Mm.
of the community. It's only my point of view. I think Israel in Eurovision is in a mission, and that's well, I mean, that's making me uncomfortable because we
It's
know what.
making a lot of no. I can see where you're coming from, and it's not so much on a mission. It's to get a point across that we are already aware of. Like, baby, we know what's going on. Okay, we get it. We're here for music. We're not here to spit these out in lyrics in certain ways that you're saying it. And I mean, we've treaded really carefully here, but if you're going to put it in someone's face, don't do it to make them uncomfortable. Do it in a way of, yes, we're here, but we're going to respect your value and respect the way this is run. You
Mhm.
don't need to be warned countless times to change your song lyrics, change the name of the song, and you're still not doing that because you're still writing it in your other official language that you have within that country. Baby, don't do that. Don't do
Mhm.
that. You're making people uncomfortable. I see people crying in the Eurovision village, and in all my nearly 29 years of living, I've never seen that. Maybe
But
when Sweden, maybe when Sweden won, but I'm, I've got friends in Sweden. Everyone cries at Sweden sometimes, but when you've got it, people crying, people saying that they're going to kill a contest, people saying stop with all of this and stop with all of that.
definitely, well,
How,
for me, I
like,
mean, if it has been winning, it wouldn't be a deserved winner, and this is the problem because at the end of the day, I'm watching a song contest, and I love music more than what you are trying to. I mean, listen, you don't like the word mission. I think it's a mission. Like when, for example, you are pushing people to vote in every country, vote, vote,
yeah,
vote,
no, I
vote,
get
vote,
what you
vote, vote,
mean.
vote.
I do get what
Like
you
a
mean. It's,
yeah, it's just like a business. It becomes a business and not more a song contest. But we have for the
yeah.
music, and this is what makes me feel uncomfortable. But at the end of the day, we are because people are going to listen to that. What I'm saying is not hashtag Eurovision. This is me. I mean my point of view.
Oh, 100%. And like, everyone's valid to their opinion, so don't feel bad for saying it at all. Listen,
Yeah,
it's the first time I've spoken about it in nearly 2 to 3 years. That
yeah.
literally because I'm like, mm-mm.
And
But
also, and
I will
also,
talk
I
about it, you
think
know what I mean?
And also, I think that we are living in freedom, in democracies. So,
100%.
yeah, so we should have free speech, and I'm free to say whatever I want to say, and you should
Yeah,
be free to say whatever
100%.
you say. I mean, that is kind of normal.
Yeah.
So I think it's enough for this subject. So we'll have to conclude together. I will ask you some questions again, annoying again.
No, you're never annoying. Don't be silly.
Thank you, baby.
You've done a very good job for your first episode, so don't
Thank
worry.
you, and I'm so happy because you're doing everything. You're making it live, and
Honestly,
you're
just
making it
be yourself.
easy.
The best thing to do is be yourself. Even around
Yeah,
me, you don't need to. I will never judge you for who you are or what you're doing. So carry on what you're doing. You've done a really good job. So don't
thank
stress in the
you.
next episode.
I'm not stressed at all now. I'm with you, so I can't be stressed. It's all right. You're making me feel comfortable. So, what was your guilty pleasure this year?
Mm. Oh, what was it? Oh my God.
Yeah, if you
Mila.
collect everything. Sorry,
Mila from
Mila.
Serbia.
Serbia. Wow, really?
Yeah, Prince is a fine daddy.
Have you met him?
Yeah. Yeah. And he follows me on Instagram as well. So I'm like, thanks, Mila.
Great. What was your unpopular opinion this year?
uh, oh God, unpopular opinion.
Mhm.
I feel like, oh my God, who is it? Italy should have sent a woman. Unpopular opinion, because I know everyone loves a male. Not
Yeah,
everyone, but majority love a male, and we've seen on, San Remo that they love a male. They
I
should
mean,
have sent a woman to get a better result.
uh, I was at the San Remo festival. This is a world apart. Let's be honest.
Hmm.
It's for them. San Remo, is much more important. San Remo festival is much
Yeah,
more important than
Eurovision
Eurovision.
isn't really as big in
Yeah.
Italy as San Remo is.
What is happening there? I was watching Clara Febre. I was like,
Oh, Elodie. Oh,
yeah, this is incredible. All the musics got me crazy. I mean, especially female music. And when I was listening to this music, this very old man talking about, I mean, people loved it. They were crazy about this, but he was
I
talking
know.
about mama's Alzheimer. And I was like, okay, if you're not Italian, you don't understand it. And I saw the music and I said, yeah, they're always sending very classic music most of the
Yeah.
time. So that's why I was very happy to see Angelina Mango, and I'm happy when I see Mahmoud. But this year, yeah, unpopular opinion, I have the same. They should have been
Yeah,
sending
they should have
women.
sent a woman with an upbeat song because ballads with
Yeah,
Italy, and I love Italy, don't get me wrong, I've been to Italy.
yeah, but they're always the
Italian
good.
ballads won't really get them far, whereas an upbeat song, you'll see a better
But they're
result.
always the
Angelina
good.
Mango, for example.
I don't understand how. I mean, they are doing good all the time. Most of the time, they're doing good. So in the big five, they
I
are.
think it depends on the artist and who they're working with as songwriters, but you'll notice when they send a ballad, it's further down than an upbeat song.
Sure. And do you have one last thing to share with us? Something you would like to say?
Be prepared for the new season because I
I'm
feel like
getting ready.
I felt like I let a lot of people down last season because I had a really shit season. I had a lot going on personally. So next year I will be back and I will be my crazy self, probably even more.
I
So if
will
you
do the
wanna
same. I will
lose
do
your
the
shit with
same. And
me,
I will be there. I will be there in Austria. I will see you, and I will.
you'll see me. I'll be like, yes, bitch.
I will record you. I will record you,
Yeah.
and you'll go viral again.
If Maroov is played in Euro Club, expect me to be on the floor.
Okay, sure.
It's like a tradition at this point.
Okay, so tradition on the floor.
On the floor, twerking on the floor, then she can't get up because she's really old. So
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for being our guest today and sharing
oh,
this
thank
this
you.
moment with me and with all the hashtaggers. Thank you so much,
No,
Nora.
thank you for
You're such a
having me.
sweetheart, and it was a pleasure for me.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Thank you.